I know the answer already.
Do you now? Now, how do you know how we judge things up here?
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the classic musicals that are particularly outdated.
Than the pinpoint of number one, but my score with the feller is lower than a cellar. Oh.
Number 10, My Fair Lady.
Who takes good care of me, how wouldn't it be lovely?
Not everything is so fair for this lady. The 1956 musical My Fair Lady is a theatrical classic with a whole lot of problems. Inspired by George Bernard Shaw's Pygmalion, the story sees Professor Henry Higgins transforming Londoner Eliza Doolittle into an educated lady by changing the way she talks.
Oh, anybody would think he was my father.
If I decide to teach you, I'd be worse than two fathers to you.
Yes, you heard that correctly. That's bad enough. Leave her accent alone. But Higgins also treats Eliza like trash, berating and embarrassing her every chance he gets. Surprisingly, a bond grows between them, and the story ends with him asking her where his slippers are. Yikes! The 2018 revival attempted to update the text to make it less problematic, but the original still leaves a bad taste.
You've all been working much too hard. I think the strain is beginning to show.
Number 9, Bye Birdie.
What's the matter with her?
She's sad because Conrad's going into the army, and she'll be too old for him when he gets out.
Well, she's got a few good years left.
The 60s brought Bye Birdie to the Broadway stage, and it is very much a product of its time.
Kids! I don't know what's wrong with these kids today. Kids, who can understand anything they say?
The plot surrounds a big-time teen musician, Conrad Birdie, who is about to be deployed to serve in the military. As a send-off, his agent Albert sets up a deal to have him perform on The Ed Sullivan Show, where one admirer will get a chance to share a kiss with him. The show is packed with offensive and troubling plot points, namely the racist treatment of Rosie, Albert's love interest. It also sees its titular character accused of inappropriate behavior with a minor. We are saying a big bye-bye to all of that.
Bye, bye, Birdie. It's awful hard to bear.
Number 8, Funny Girl.
Hey, Mr. Honesty, here I am.
Although this musical helped make Barbra Streisand a bona fide star, we can't help but call out its faults. Somewhat based on the life of Broadway legend Fanny Brice, the musical is all about show business and follows Brice as she sings, dances, and belts her way to fame. Unfortunately, she spends a good portion of the runtime following and pining for Nicky Arnstein, who gets them involved in some shady dealings.
Because I thought maybe, finally, at last, my luck had changed. Only it hadn't.
So it'll change tomorrow.
In the end, the two go their separate ways, but it's hard to watch someone as confident and electric as Fanny Brice fall for such a toxic man.
You
Huh?
are woman, I am man. You are smaller, so I can be taller than.
Number 7, The Music Man.
Oh, what can I do, my dear, to catch your ear? I love you madly, madly, Madam Librarian, Marian.
It's the classic opposites attract love story. In The Music Man, librarian and musician Marion Peru is bugged, agitated, and lied to, but also eventually wooed by a con artist named Harold Hill. His constant pursuit of her is straight up annoying, not to mention a trope that we see far too often and that sends a very troubling message.
At what college do they give a degree for accosting women like a Saturday night rowdy at a public dance hall?
Well, I wouldn't know about that. I'm a conservatory man myself.
In the end, she somehow forgives all his bad behavior, actually defending him. Frustratingly, but sadly not shockingly, the two end up together in a huge, outdated eye roll of a finale.
No, I never heard them at all till there was you.
Music Man, you got trouble indeed.
Well, either you're closing your eyes to a situation you do not wish to acknowledge, or you are not aware of the caliber of disaster.
Number 6, The King and I.
You'll forgive me if I boast and I've now become an expert on the subject I like most.
Despite being regarded as a classic, The King and I is one of the most problematic works in the musical theater canon. The plot revolves around a white woman relocating to Bangkok and work as a teacher for a King of Siam's kids.
If I might be allowed to offer you a word of warning, that man has power, and he can use it for you or against you.
Well, you must stop worrying about me, Captain Orton.
Sometimes I wonder if you know what you're really facing.
Firstly, it was created by Richard Rodgers and Oscar Hammerstein II, two white men, who crafted a very narrow depiction of Thai culture. The show deals with colonialism, but unfortunately not by properly trying to unpack or criticize it in a fleshed-out enough way.
On a clear understanding that this kind of thing can happen, shall we dance? Shall we dance? Shall we dance?
In addition, the original Broadway cast and the 1956 film adaptation both featured Yul Brynner, a Russian-born actor, playing King Mongkut.
Very often find confusion in conclusion I concluded long ago.
Number 5. Annie Get Your Gun.
Getting paid for doing what comes naturally. Let's go on with the show.
In 1946, Annie Get Your Gun was among the hottest tickets on Broadway. After all, the tale of Annie Oakley, one of the West's sharpest shooters, boasts some of musical theater's most memorable tunes, including There's No Business Like Show Business and Anything You Can Do.
Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
However, the music also originally includes some truly disturbing lyrics, targeting indigenous people and perpetuating harmful stereotypes. It was outdated then, and remains unacceptable, with numerous stagings making adjustments to remedy the situation. Overall, the one-note depiction of the Sioux tribe throughout is an unfortunate example of the industry's troubling history of producing and showcasing racist content.
Just when they've taken everyone by force, who makes an entrance on a big white horse? Who starts a shooting till there's no one left to kill? General Grant? No, Colonel Buffalo Bill.
Number 4. South Pacific.
There is nothing like a day, nothing in the world. There is nothing you can name that is anything like a day.
When South Pacific first premiered on Broadway in 1949, it was praised for what many consider to be progressive thoughts on race.
All men are created equal, isn't it?
Emil, you really believe that?
However, there's no denying that the protagonist, Nellie Forbush, is racist.
I wanted to meet different kinds of people and find out if I liked them better.
And do you?
Well, I don't really know yet, I guess. They're different.
She falls in love with a Frenchman, Emile, later breaking things off with him upon learning that he has 2 children who are half Polynesian. In the end, though, they end up together after she changes her mind. But the resolution basically excuses her earlier bigotry, centering her happy ending.
Est-ce que parce que vous m'aimez?
Honestly, Emile should have never continued to pursue her after seeing her hatefulness. There's definitely nothing enchanted about this twisted story.
Who can explain? Who can tell you why?
Fools give you reasons, wise men never try.
Number 3. Oklahoma.
Oh, they would? Oh, you never know how many people like you till you're dead.
There's no denying that Oklahoma revolutionized the musical theater genre, yet at its center, it really is just a story about 2 men fighting over a woman.
Judd finishes off the unconscious Curly and carries Laurie out, high above his head like a conquering hero, to the shock and horror of the townspeople.
And there's a lot of toxicity and misogyny at play. Curly McLean and Judd Fry's obsession with winning over Laurie Williams culminates in Judd losing his life. It's at the hands of his own weapon, but it's also during a throwdown with Curly. If you're thinking there's due process or a proper legitimate trial though, think again. Curly's basically hailed a hero, and he and Laurie head off together. Between that, the sexism, and the underdeveloped female characters, the musical in its classic form has not aged well.
Don't you feel kind of sorry for a feller when he looks like he wants to kiss you? But you just can't go around kissing every man that asks you. Didn't anyone ever tell you that?
Yeah, they told me.
Number 2, Gigi.
In this wide, wide world must be oh so many girls better for you than I.
No matter how you try to spin it, there really is no defending Gigi.
What's the matter with her?
Everything.
The plot is straight up unsettling, and the show does itself no favors when handling delicate subject matter. Based on a French novella, Gigi follows the story of the titular teen who is studying to become a courtesan in Paris.
And never go home again.
It is not what she wants, though, and there's a considerable age gap between her and her eventual love interest Gaston. Don't even get us started on the latter's uncle, Honoré, who has a song literally titled Thank Heaven for Little Girls.
Thank heaven for little girls. They grow up in the most delightful way.
Which reads super creepy. We wish we were making this stuff up. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Carousel.
I'd let my golden chances pass me by.
Billy Bigelow might be musical theater's most controversial leading man. He's one of the most famous characters, with a challenging repertoire of songs including Soliloquy and the duet If I Loved You.
You can have fun with a son, but you gotta be a father to a girl.
That being said, Bigelow is a role that carries a lot of emotional weight. Indeed, he is violent with his wife. It's a horrifying, shocking development, made even more troubling when he later dies and ascends to the afterlife.
He'd argue, she'd say this, I'd say that, and she'd be right. So I hit her.
Are you sorry you hit her?
I ain't sorry for anything.
There, he is awarded the opportunity to make up for his transgressions. He ends up harming his daughter Louise, and yet still he's ultimately redeemed and humanized. Thus, Carousel sends a disturbing message that abuse is forgivable, and we think it's best if the curtain closes on that message. Which one of the musicals do you think has aged the worst? Let us know in the comments. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.